Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RC Groups, and we're at the Horizon booth in Toledo 2017 with Mr. Matt. And Matt has designed a lot of airplanes that you have flown. You may not be aware of it, but currently we're looking at the Commander, which is a pretty recent release. Correct?
Yep, just started shipping this not too long ago. So.
This is co-designed by an Italian designer and David Payne.
Correct. Mirko Pecorari from Aircraft Design Studio.
And just an FYI, we actually did an interview with Mirko and asked him about his inspiration for this plane and all that, so you can check that out on RC Groups. But I have to say personally, this is a plane that I want to spend money on.
Oh, absolutely.
So job well done.
It's a clean sport plane. You know, it's got some amazing lines. It's kind of got some classic lines, a little bit of modern look to it. It's got a lot of room inside. You can see the hatch is just magnetic. You got miles of room on the inside. I mean, you can fit anything in there. Really easy for the hatch to come on and off. Really strong magnet. But the most cool part about this airplane, 2 screws, the wing comes off, no servo connections.
Gotcha.
Plug it in, done. 2 screws, you're ready to fly.
So this is go to the field and not do a lot of work.
Exactly. Just slap it together. The servos plug themselves right in. Don't have to connect, mess with wires or anything like that. It makes it really easy to get together.
Let's see the bottom of this bird.
Got a nice visible trim scheme there, and ball links on all the control surfaces, so really nice, tight, precise control on this airplane.
Awesome, nice air outlets to keep everything cool.
Just a great flying sport plane. You know, those guys, Mirko and David, really spent a lot of time trying to make it a really pure, good flying sport plane, had good lines, perform, you know, not a lot of coupling and knife edge and stuff like that, and just make it a light, fun airplane you can go to the field and have a ball with.
And then throw some flaps on there.
Absolutely, yeah, comes with the flaps pre-installed, ready to go. So.
Right. Well, I love this airplane. I love the trim scheme, and a great collaboration.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be good for us. Love the way it flies.
Any more coming out of David and Mirko, or are they?
You never know. We'll have to see what they're working on next. So.
If you've ever read any of my articles on the Carbon Z Cub, I did virtually everything you could do to that airplane. I spent probably more money on it than I did for it. But this is the up-and-comer, the new version of Carbon Z family.
It is. Again, another creation of David Payne here. This is his baby. He's been a big 150 fan for a long time. I think his grandfather owned a 150. He did the little E-Flight 250 size 150, and so this is his latest creation. This one's got a lot of cool features on it. I mean, there's almost too much to talk about on this one.
What's the coolest feature?
Coolest feature on this one, again, same servoless connectors right there. You got flaps, ailerons, and lights ready to go. You plug it in, and it's good to go.
So is this like a lock for the tube?
No, this is just a scale gas cap, basically to lock the wing on. Just pop this top hatch right here. There's a little plastic thumb screw.
Oh, wow.
So I can pop one of them out here. We actually store it inside the fuselage just to make it a little bit easy. And again, miles of room, got plastic protectors so you're not denting the foam getting your battery in. But you just have a little thumb screw, really easy to put in. So just tighten the wing on, and then to attach the strut, just got a simple cotter key. So no tools to put the wing on at all. Really easy to assemble at the field.
I know some of my airplanes, I carry plastic containers full of screws and the right screwdriver, because if it's not the right screwdriver, it'll strip it.
Of course.
And so you're solving that problem for
Absolutely. No screws, no tools. The wing tube will actually fit inside the fuselage, so you're not going to leave that at home and forget it when you get to the field. So, you know, it's got the scale lights on it, as you can see here. So you got the wingtip lights, the landing lights on the nose.
There, Mr. Matt.
And then also have the tail lights as well, so lots of cool stuff.
So it has built-in flaps?
Built-in flaps as well. And again, ball link control on all the surfaces.
So I don't want to get too FPV on you, but both these aircraft, especially this one, would be pretty awesome FPV craft, I think.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I would think you could even use the, the Carbon Z Cub mount right up here on top of the fuselage and get a good, mount for like a GoPro or FPV gear or stuff like that. Absolutely.
So this is part of the nose.
Yep. The whole hatch just has 2 little plastic tabs here, so you're not denting the foam to pull it off. And then, like I said, just miles of room on the inside of the fuselage.
What's this retail for?
It's actually the same price as the Carbon Z Cub, so we're actually able to get all these features in without adding the price.
What is that, like $500?
I think it's $399.
$399.
Yep, that's it. So.
Well,
amazing deal. And again, it fits the Carbon Z Cub floats, so you got that option too. Works on 4S or 6S, so 4S for cruising, 6S for the performance. And I will say the roll rate on this airplane is phenomenal.
Awesome.
We actually had to tone down the roll rate a little bit because it was so wild. So if you guys want to have some fun, you can crank up the throws and really get this thing wound up. So great flying airplane. You got the tricycle gear, so it's easy to handle. Got a shock-absorbing nose strut. So, I mean, this thing's loaded with features.
Well, I don't want to sound like I'm selling anything here, but $399 for this is pretty awesome. I think.
Yeah, we put a lot of features in this plane, trying to progress the Carbon Z line and just make it better for everybody.
And that's an RTF, but does it at $399? Does it come with a receiver or anything, or do we have an upgraded option? So
That's
plug and play?
That's bind and fly basic, and then we have a plug and play version available. So if you already have a receiver laying around, you can use that as well.
Gotcha. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
So I never been a Warbird guy, and I understood it, but it never really like, oh my gosh, Warbirds. But Matt Gunn and I recently have been doing a lot of online gaming.
Okay.
And I'm actually now studying with the A10. I have an A10 that I fly online, and I'm researching the scale graphics and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So all that to say, I'm now into scale airplanes.
All right, awesome. We love that.
I never thought it would happen. But with that said, this is awesome.
It's a cool little airplane. Again, shocking. We have another David Payne airplane here. He's been working hard on these guys.
Man.
This thing really has the performance. We've had the MiG and the Habu and the one motor EDFs, and they perform well. But when we were able to put 2 motors in this thing, it really just opens up the performance level. I mean, it's the highest performance EDF in an ultra micro size we have.
And the real secret here, I think, is the AS3X.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which on multiple levels, I've come to rely on. And from a sailplane to an FPV plane, I really love my AS3X. So tell us how that makes this a better plane.
It just smooths it out. It allows you to fly in a little bit more wind that, an airplane this size is going to be affected by wind and stuff. Anything over about 5 miles an hour, some of these small airplanes just get kicked around so bad. The AS3X allows you to fly it and stuff you just wouldn't fly this size airplane in. So it allows you to open up your flying area depending on what the wind is. So.
Well, speaking of AS3X, let's keep the camera rolling. Do we have a Theory Type W on the premises?
Right back there.
Let's go talk about that 1 second. Moving right along.
You can set the voice up for whatever you want.
Tell you what,
And this would be this gentleman for the Theory
he
W.
says he don't know when they're coming in.
Theory just got snagged. What's happening?
Hey, if I'd known I was helping you out.
Oh, well, that's different.
What's going on?
Come in here, Matt.
Okay, here what's up? Oh, Matt, yeah, you go there, Matt. Matt's here.
Okay, so while this isn't a news breaking, this has been out for a while.
Yep.
But I've been flying this airplane. I don't like it for a lot of reasons. That's why I went and grabbed it. So the number one reason, well, I wouldn't say number one, but one of the reasons is this has a launch mode. So if you're in the goggles or if you're just simply throwing this thing will self-right itself. Yep. So Jason threw it with his finger, and this thing went completely sideways, and it totally leveled itself out. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that really helps with, especially when you're in the goggles, that first launch, trying to get your orientation as you're heading out. So
the other thing about a wing, I find every wing I've ever owned skitters around a corner. And the AS3X really took that out of this airplane. Can you speak on that? Can you tell me how and why?
It really just kind of it takes whatever it needs to do to keep the airplane flying right. If it sees a yaw, it might give a little bit more aileron one way to try and keep it a little bit straighter. With no rudders or anything, you're really not controlling a lot of yaw. But we spent a lot of time on the aerodynamics of this, and the FPV guys at work really spent a lot of time trying to get it so it wasn't kind of that squirrely flying wing feeling.
Well, I could totally feel it. It's my number one thing I'm always bothered about in the goggles, and this solved that problem. I'll say one more thing. This thing is small. It'll fit in the back of your car. These wings actually come off so you can put it in a suitcase. For me, and Jason Cole even said this, it's got the power.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you have the power until you really full throttle it, and then it's like, holy.
Then it goes, yeah.
And then it also will end here. It has 2 canopies, one that'll take a Mobius, and it comes with the AS3X. Everything's ready to go. You literally could buy it, go to the field, and put a battery on there and be good.
Absolutely.
So it is awesome. And if you're not into FPV or you're just wanting to get into FPV, don't let the word race scare you. This is just a great FPV wing.
Absolutely. Great way to get into it.
Awesome. And the newest technology coming from the DX line is it's a hypersensitive. As you see here, the discs are hypersensitive magnetic propulsion units, and what it does is it takes the magnetic field, the EMF range coming off your fingers, and you act as if you have a stick, and it feels exactly where you're at. So there's no sticks to like poke you or get in the way. I get my thumb in the well a lot, and then I'm like, but not so with this. Tell us about this, Matt. This is awesome.
Well, you know, it's the new technology allows you to fly with absolute precision. Now this is our DX18 radio.
So is this the only unit around? It actually plays music, does it?
I don't know if it plays music or not.
But theoretically?
Theoretically, I believe we do have a team member who actually made a DX18 radio that does function, so.
Awesome. All right. We're just kidding, everybody.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Woo!
Hey, everyone. We're talking to Daniel.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, what's up?
Daniel?
Already.
So let's talk about some helis.
Okay.
What's the #1 thing here that you want to talk about?
Now I got 3.
Okay.
I got 3 new ones. So let's hip on over here to the small stuff. Kind of have it separated between your indoor and beginner, right?
Interesting. So I heard earlier in the show someone said things are coming back around to the earliest days, and
Little bit.
Say this is kind of what they were
Kind
talking
of going
about.
back to the old tried and true.
Right.
Yeah, you know what worked, but try to improve it a little
Well,
bit.
now we
So-
have the tech and the chips and all that keep it flying technology. So I
Okay.
assume that's all stuffed into here. They're easy
Of
to
course.
fly.
Yeah. So one of the nice ones that we have here. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm good at this.
Bringing back the old MSR, right? You remember the old blue canopy one? So we just decided, hey, that was such a great flying heli, but we think we can do better. So we threw in safe and said, here you go.
Cool. So what does safe do for me on a helicopter? I know
So what
it does
safe
for
is
me
going to do for this particular helicopter, so the old one was pretty hot, you know, indoors for such a little heli. So what we did was adding safe kind of gives you the feel and flight control of something like your coaxial CX2.
So it just
very
makes it
stable,
soft.
yeah, very docile, nice and easy to fly indoors. If you're ready to really, you know, take it up a step, flip it into AS3X mode. You got a real tough angle of attack, you know, and it's going to be hot and heavy inside. So that'll be a nice one for a nice rainy day like today. And you know, I still need to get your fix in.
Miss Ashley, could you, for the camera, make that face again about flying it aggressively that you just made? See if you can recreate it.
I think, or something.
Pretty much what it's like.
Maybe that could be a ski in the front of that heli.
So then we got 2 more over here. Go ahead and behind us over here.
Getting bigger.
Getting a
Yay.
little bigger. We got the new 130S. Right there, coming in for a landing. All right.
Get in there, Jim.
So took the 130 and just looked at it and said, hey, we need to maybe improve this a little so that's a little more friendly for flying, for that transition from like your MSR into something a little more intense.
Move more into the backyard.
Sure, yeah. Some indoor if you really have the skill for it. Definitely an outdoor. Removed a lot of the components in the tail and just went with a straight brushless tail. Simplified the design and the frame. Safe included, so we got some nice comfortable flight modes for you.
And if you wad it up, it's just a new tail boom and maybe a motor.
Sure. Yep.
Very simple.
So we've also got safe in AS3X mode. So if you're done flying as like a fixed pitch helicopter, flip it into AS3X and start doing all your stunts, inverted flying and everything. Comes with a nice 3-cell 300 milliamp battery, so you can probably get about 4 to 5 minutes of some extreme flight.
Awesome.
Yep. And then took the 360 CFX, which is a very popular large-scale heli for us.
Yeah, sexy.
Yeah. With
Can I hold
yeah,
him?
go ahead. Put this
Just don't poke your eye out.
3-bladed head on it. Yeah, they'll get you, and really give you some good collective authority with the 3-bladed head on that
So
one.
is this more of a, can you 3D this thing?
Just a little.
Right.
Just a little. Yeah.
So what does this go for?
$600, bind and fly basic, and that's the only offering we have on this one. So, kind of figured that
Give you a
if
tail
you're
end look.
jumping into this kind of level, you already got most of what you need. So, let's save you on some costs.
And lots of nice aluminum in there, I see.
A lot of aluminum, a lot of carbon fiber, really strong, very rigid.
Awesome.
Metal Gear servos. So yeah,
Awesome.
real excited about that one.
Sauceum.
All right,
It
everybody.
is awesome.
Sauceum.
Yep,
Sauceum.
that's it.
Talking to Daniel from Horizon. Thank you, sir. Have a
Sure.
great Toledo.
Thank you.
Oh no!
That's the 4th time that.
Do it, Jim. Wah, 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 wah.
Bum, 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 bum. Wow.